So we've just got back from our fortnight's holiday in Scotland, and for half of that holiday we didn't have any cold water, any hot water. We had no heating, and it actually did need heating, even though it was the middle of July. One day it was 13 degrees. So I did the obvious. I checked the outside pump. I checked the control panel. The control panel wouldn't switch on. I checked the fuses. All of those fuses were okay. I then checked the fuses on the 310 or 3010 old compact water heater. Those two fuses there, the two green ones, pulled those out, made sure that they were okay, which they were. So after that I was a little bit lost. I contacted a Caravan service guy. He said that there might be an inline fuse on the supply going into the heater, which there wasn't. He also suggested that there may be an inline fuse behind this control panel. This silver part of the panel unclips. You unscrew these 4 screws here, and there was no inline fuse behind that control panel either. He then said it was probably a fault with this control panel, and that he would see if he could order me one whilst I was away on holiday. I'm pleased that he couldn't order me one whilst I was away on holiday, because the price of them was something like 350 quid. So I looked online, and there's a company in Manchester who will repair these control panels. And also he suggested, after I phoned him up, that there's a PCB board which is underneath here. So I'm going to take out the control panel, I'm going to take out the PCB board and send them off to him to see if he can diagnose the problem and fix them. I think the PCB board alone is about 450 quid. The control panel's 350 quid. To have them fitted, you're talking the best part of £1,000. So let's see if we can get the fault fixed for an awful lot less. So before disconnecting any wiring, I always think it's a good idea to take a photograph of what it should be once you replace it all. I've taken a photograph of this already, so now I'll just take out all the wiring. Can't get that one out. It is quite fiddly. That's that one. It's fiddly just because of the location where it is in my big hands and the fact that I'm using my left hand. So that is all the wiring out the way. I've already taken out the 3 torque screws to take this cover off. Alright, now this is the PCB board that the chap in Manchester has said could also be at fault. So I'll now proceed to undo all of those electrical connections and then unclip it. I think there's probably a screw. Yeah. No, I don't think there is actually. We'll have a look. Unclip it and get it sent off. As I said before, I take off the connections, I'm actually going to take a photograph of all that wiring first. So I thought I'd show you, before I take off all the wires, which the vast majority are actually colour coded, obviously blue, brown, grey, red, blue, and they're quite obvious once you've taken a photograph of where they should go when you put the board back in. There's 3 wires down at the bottom which to me aren't obvious. That's these 3, because they are black, and I think what I'm going to do with those is actually label those up, you know, top, right and left, just with a bit of masking tape and right on the masking tape. So as you can see, I've marked these 3 wires up. top, left and right. All the wires are all now disconnected from the PCB board. There is a screw, there's an earth screw here. At least I think it's an earth screw, that's what I think it is. Then I'll unclip the board and get it packaged up. So there we have it. We have one removed control panel, one removed PCB board, all the screws for putting it back in together. I'll send those off. They will test it. Hopefully they will repair the fault, and I'll fit them back in, and we should have water and heating again. They've said it's going to take about 2 or 3 days for them to diagnose it, repair it and get it back to me. Then I'll continue the video. So the package arrived today with the repaired control panel and PCB board, which I will now install, and hopefully everything should work. The cost of repairing both, and he did have to repair both, he had to repair the control panel and replace a resistor on the PCB board, was £55, including postage and packaging, which I think is pretty cheap. So I'll now proceed to fit them. The control panel is fitted obviously the opposite way to the way it was removed. The electrical connection is made, the 4 screws are then put on so that it fits into this hole here, and then the cover is put on. So that's the control panel back in place. I'll now proceed to refit the PCB board. This is the repaired PCB board. I couldn't actually see anything on the control panel that has been replaced, but he did say that he'd replaced a resistor. On the PCB, I can actually see that thermocouple, that has definitely been replaced. Can't see anything else that's been replaced, but I'll now refit it. Obviously I'll be using the photograph of the wiring that I took before, replacing them all back in the same place. So after clipping the PCB board back in, I'll now replace all the black wires which I'd labelled up. Please label those up, because it would have been extremely difficult to remember where each one went. That's those all back in position. And now I shall connect all the coloured wires back in place as per the picture that I took before I removed it. Oh, obviously I need to put back in the earth screw here, which I shall now do. Okay, that's the external cover fitted. We shall now proceed to fit all the power supply. This makes it so much easier if you do mark things. I did mark this left and right when I took them off. So obviously left is that one and the right is that one. Right, that's all refitted. So now the moment of truth. Let's get some power on. Let's see if the control panel works and we have water and heating. So now the moment of truth. The 12 volt power's been connected, the 230 volt power's been connected, and the water has been connected. Right, let's see if this fix brings life into the control panel. Now that's promising. There is a bit of life there. And we have a working control panel. Okay, let's see if we have water. And yes, good. The big problem, we have water. Do we have hot water? Yes, we have very hot water. Oh, I am so pleased with that fix. Really, really happy. So the diagnosis from the Caravan service engineer, who I originally contacted, was that we needed a new control panel at a cost of approximately £350. There's a possibility that we also needed a new PCB at a cost of £450. Then it was at least £200 to have them both fitted. I'm pleased that I did it myself. I looked online and found this company in Manchester that said that they could repair both the control panel and the PCB. It's cost me £55 and it works brilliantly. I'll put all the details of the company at the end of this video. Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that you should touch the gas on the heater or anything like that. But if you've gone through the diagnosis of taking out the fuses, making sure that the fuses are correct, and you still don't have any power or any life in the control panel, then I would suggest that you use this company in Manchester. It is a very, very cheap fix if it works. It saved me a lot of money. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've learned something. I certainly have. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel. Bye.